Well, hello everybody and welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to make an easy apple crisp. So this is going to be a layer of apples with an oat and flour topping sprinkled over the top, which is going to bake in the oven, and the top will become quite crisp, similar to a crumble, but not really a crumble. And the apples will be nice and sweet and succulent and juicy. So it's a very easy recipe, and I'll go straight on to the ingredients. And for this, I'm going to use 1 kilogram, which is 2.2 pounds of apples. You can use the apples you want. I'm using Pink Lady, but you could use a combination of Pink Lady, Granny Smith's, Braeburn, Gala, whatever you like, basically. And I'm going to peel those and slice those later. And to go with the apples, I have 37 grams, which is 3 tablespoons of light brown sugar, 16 grams, 2 tablespoons of corn flour, 15 millilitres, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 15 millilitres, 1 tablespoon of water, and half a gram, a quarter of a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And then for the crisp topping, I have 60 grams, which is 10 tablespoons of rolled oats, 85 grams, 9 tablespoons of plain flour, 1 gram, half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 162 grams, 3/4 of a cup plus 1 tablespoon of light brown sugar, and 23 grams, a quarter of a cup of flaked almonds, which I have just broken a little bit in between my fingers, and 1.5 grams, a quarter of a teaspoon of salt. And then I had to one side 227 grams, 1 cup of softened unsalted butter. And the first thing I'm going to do is to use all these ingredients to make our crisp mixture. And to do that, I'm going to start off by putting my flour and my salt, along with the half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, into a large bowl. Just give those a mix around. Then I'm going to add in the oats and the flaked almonds and mix them around again. Then the sugar, and again I'll mix that around. And at this stage, you could rub the butter in to make your crumble mixture, and in that case you would leave the butter rather firmer than I have mine. But I'm going to mix mine in with the hand mixer, and then I'm going to chill it for long enough so that it firms up and I can crumble as much as I want. So I'll put my butter in. And then I'm just going to use my hand mixer on a low speed to get those combined. And I've just mixed that until it comes together and it's still quite clumpy. And I'm going to put that into the fridge, and I'm going to chill it for an hour, because I want that to be quite firm. Then I can take it in chunks and break it up over the surface of my apples. So as that chills, I'm going to prepare my apples. And with about 30 minutes of my hour to go, I'm going to preheat my oven to 180 degrees Celsius, 160 Celsius with a fan, 350 Fahrenheit, and that will be ready to bake the easy apple crisp once I've got everything in the dish. So with my crisp mixture chilling in the fridge, I have my oven preheating now, so I'm simply going to prepare the apples. I'll start off actually by putting my tablespoon of water and tablespoon of lemon juice into the bowl, and that's going to allow me to put the apple slices in and hopefully prevent them from browning too much before they go into the pan. So I'm simply going to take the skin off the apples and if there's some little bruising marks, I'm not going to worry about those at all. And then, with the skin off the apple, I'm going to cut it into slices. So I'm going to cut around the core, and then I'm simply going to cut the apple into about 1/4 inch slices. If some are thicker than others, it doesn't matter. And put them into my bowl with the lemon juice. And give it a toss around like that. And I'm going to do the same with the remainder. So there are my apples sliced, and I'm just going to set those to one side for a moment, and I'm going to put my 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon into those 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, stir those together, and then I'm going to stir in my corn flour as well. And the corn flour is to thicken the juices as they're released from the apples during cooking. So with those mixed together, we can put the apples into a pan, and here I have a pan which is about 7 inches by 10.5 inches. You can use a 12 by 7, 12 by 8. You can, well, basically you can use whatever pan you want. But I'm going to put my apples in with the water and the lemon juice as well. And then I'm going to sprinkle over some of the dry mixture and just give that a stir through, and then put the rest in and give it another stir. And then I'm just going to spread that out fairly level, like that. And that's now ready for my crisp mixture. So I have my mixture here, and I'm just going to take little bits of it and drop it over the apples. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't completely cover them, but I'll do the best I can. And so I have that completely covered now. And I should have said that I did grease my pan before I put the apples in. That will help it not stick, so sort of, it shouldn't stick anyway because it's liquid underneath. Now I'm going to cook this, and as it cooks, some of the butter will leak down into the apples and create a nice caramel type sauce to go with the apples, I hope. So I'm going to put that into the oven, and I'm going to bake it for about an hour, maybe up to an hour and 15 minutes. I want it to be bubbling underneath. Some of the juice may seep up and bubble over the top. That's perfectly fine. And I want the top to go a nice golden brown colour. If I think it's going brown too quickly, I can cover it loosely with some foil. But an hour to an hour and 15 minutes, and then I'm going to take it out of the oven. Now, I think people generally tend to leave their apple crisp for 10 or 15 minutes and serve it while it's still hot. I'm going to leave mine for longer. I actually will prefer to eat mine cold, but you can serve it hot if you want to. But once mine has cooled down to my liking, I'll come back, show you the results, and we'll have a taste. I baked my easy apple crisp for 70 minutes. I checked it at 60 minutes and it was bubbling nicely, but I wanted a little bit more colour on the top, so I left it in for another 10 minutes. Then I took it out of the oven and I've left it to cool down. Now it's been about 20 minutes. I want to cool it even further, but I've decided I'll have a taste of it now, so that I can show you what it looks like, and I can taste it while it's warm. So this is what it looks like now. And I have taken some out, as you can see, and the juice is nice and syrupy, and it leaks just a little bit, but I have some in a bowl here, and I would usually serve it with some ice cream or even with some custard, but I'll taste it just as it is. The apple is very, very good. It's lovely and sweet and syrupy, with just that little bit of cinnamon in it as well. And then the crisp. That is delicious. It's actually just slightly sticking to my teeth. Very, very good indeed. So this is a very simple recipe. Very good for this time of year with the abundance of apples and such like. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please give me a thumbs up below and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen there'll be an eye that you can click on, and that will take you to a link for the recipe, and I'll put a link below the video as well, and I'll be back with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.